Upfield rolls through turns 3 and 4, getting ready for their opening pace lap of tonight's event. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's Thompson 150, presented by FloSports. On the pole tonight, it'll be Patrick Emmerling from Orchard Park, New York, his 4th career pole. He'll line up alongside Craig Lutz, a 2-time Thompson Speedway Motorsports race winner.
Let's take a look at row number 2, Justin Bonsignore. Been there and done that. The Phoenix Communication, number 51 from Holtzville, will start in position number 3. And the gentleman that just won at Lancaster, driving the AP Marcotte and Sons, Andrew James Interiors car. From Northampton, Pennsylvania, car number 64 for Austin Beers.
The 89 of Matt Swanson will start 5th. Anthony Sesley, a part-time runner, he'll start in 6th.
Let's go back to row number 4. John McKennedy, a former champion in the Christopher's towing car, will start in 7th. Tyler Ripkema, who thinks he has a plan for this event, the Musco Lighting car, will start in the 8th position.
Matt Hirschman has never won a race here in Whelen Modified Tour competition. He'll start 9th. Chase Dowling, 3rd at New Hampshire this year. He'll start 10th.
And then we go to row number 6, Tommy Catalano. We know the Catalano success story. Car 54 will start in 11th. Ronnie Silk will drive the Blue Mountain Machine Future Homes car from the 12th starting position.
Doug Kobe is back. Tommy Baldwin, 7 New York, 13th. Jake Johnson, he won Monadnock. He'll start 14th.
Let's go back to the 8th row. Stephen Kopsick is here with the 21. Kyle Bonsignore will start alongside.
Eric Goodale is a World Series winner, rolls off 17th alongside Andrew Krause. He's back in the 24 car.
This gentleman's raced in every division you can imagine. Car number 00, Andy Jankowiak from Tonawanda will start in 19th. Trevor Catalano back in 20th.
Dave Zapienza starts 21st, Woody Pitcat 22nd, Tyler Catalano 23rd, 24th for Tim Conley.
Then we go to Roger Turbush starting back in 25th. Ken Heggie will be back in the 26th position, and Melissa Fifield will pick up at the rear of the field.
Let's go down to pit road, join the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Here's Jesse Punch.
Doug Kobe and Tommy Baldwin Racing are running a special paint scheme here tonight, a tribute to the late, great Bugsy Stevens, one of the most iconic modified drivers of all time. That 7NY, honoring the 3-time champion. Doug Kobe, a 6-time series champion himself, says Bugsy is the man. Any modified driver knows just how important he is to this series. And from one champ to another, it is an honor to race this paint scheme tonight.
It'll be fun to watch Doug Kobe in that paint scheme here tonight, try to navigate through the field. He'll start back mid-pack in the 13th spot for the 7 New York. Ben, let's take a look at the race analysis for tonight's event. It'll be 150 laps. We'll look at the keys to the race to start off with. Tire strategy tonight. We alluded to that, the options for the teams. Notebook history. This is a track, 154 races strong. It takes experience generally to win. You have to know what this track is going to do.
And most important at this particular racetrack is late race restarts. We've seen that change the entire complexion of the event. Those are the keys. Who's going to be able to unlock them to give us what we need to see? From the starter stand, clench yellow flag is in hand, and you can see the field of 2x2 formation about ready to get ready and fire them up.
Race analysis for tonight's event here at Thompson Speedway. 153 laps, 73 degrees. Really no chance of rain tonight. 1 fuel stop and 7 change tires are the options that the teams have. And again, that's the standard allotment that they get for every Whelen Modified Tour race as they get ready to go. It'll be 1 lap to go when they come by next time by to fire them off. Patrick Emmerling and Craig Lutz on the front row. And this should be a barn burner. This August race always has a level of intensity that is unmatched at any other event throughout the season.
Sure has. And of course, remember, Patrick Emmerling has come close, but he has not visited victory lane this season. He has been in striking distance each and every time. He's tired of being a bridesmaid. He wants to be the man here at Thompson for today's event. Adjustment of the lineup as things get crossed over and crossed up. As we look at the field, as we're about ready to send them down into turn number 1. Remember, the 2nd row in the competition, Justin Bonsignore, of course, and Austin Beers. It was well known that at Lancaster, Bonsignore had a tough day at the office, as the old saying goes, Joe. But for Austin Beers, it was a run that he will remember for quite some time. Here they come. Again, red light still flashing from Whelen Engineering on the backstretch here is now the pace car diving to the center of pit road.
We are ready for the start of the Thompson 150 presented by FloSports. Patrick Emmerling, the pole sitter, to the outside lane, will bring the field off turn 4 and into turn 1 in the opening circuit. He'll lead them down to turn 1. Lutz in second is a battle from third on back to the back straightaway.
No surprises there. The outside traditionally has been always the quickest on the start. Emmerling is the guy in command, but already things are getting doubled up at the battle for the top 10. Side-by-side racing further back in the field. No one stepping out of line. Check out the top 10 positions, Joe. First side-by-side battle looks like John McKennedy for a while in the number 79 car. And there is Stephen Kopczyk, 21 to the inside of your screen.
Stephen Kopczyk making just his third start in the Whelen Modified Tour, but he has a lot of experience here at this racetrack in weekly divisions. He's been victorious before, and he's a very good crew chief. He knows how to get a car to come around this racetrack. He's got a teammate tonight in Anthony Cecily. They both run out of the Whanick Motorsports team. Cecily qualified 6th, but Stephen Kopczyk has got some work to do. He qualified deep in the field tonight, back in 15th.
He was quick in the first round of practice, but that's not been the story here. Meanwhile, he shuffled back on the inside. Green and white car to the right of your screen. That is Andy Jankowiak. Directly behind him, you saw some sparks. That was the chassis bottoming out on the 58 machine of Eric Goodale. Now, Kopczyk tries to get back up in the lane directly in front of Goodale. That battle is going on currently in the mid-pack of cars. Doug Colby was once a mentor to Stephen Kopczyk and Chase Dowling. That was years back. That's no longer the case. They learned their lessons well.
Get a look at the 46 car of Craig Lutz, who's riding in second. He's had great days here at Thompson, a two-time winner here at this racetrack, but they have struggled this year to put the entire race together. They've been good in the first 20, 25 laps, like they are here tonight, and then they would start to fade a little bit. As crew chief Doug Ojako said earlier tonight, we need to be able to get this car for the A segment, the B segment, and the C segment with the speed that we have at the front. If we can do that, then we'll have a competitive race car here tonight. Only time will tell if they've made the proper adjustments on that car to be able to make it last 150 laps.
Already you can see that the pressure is being applied by young and talented Austin Beers. Now, Austin Beers, he's pumped up. He's just a youngster. He had a success at Lancaster in a spectacular race run there for him. And then Justin Bonsignore, the Ryan Stone prepared. And Massa car is right behind them in line. No one is stepping out of line this early in the event. Now, just as I say that, here comes Matt Swanson, the Cervelo Auto Machine, pressuring the number 19 car, and that is a good battle shaping up there for the 5th and 6th position.
Anthony Cecily in the orange and black number 19, the 89, the white machine, Matt Swanson. In his time in the Whelen Modified Tour, he's had strong runs at this racetrack. He's always liked it, qualified well here again tonight inside the top 5. That white 89 has chosen select races to compete in this year, and when he's come out, he's been strong. Justin Bonsignore in the 51 car, a 13-time winner here, second behind Mighty Mike Stefanik, who's got 15 wins here at this track. And Bonsignore, he has been a team that has tried to figure out that new strategy. We've put a lot of effort and discussion over the last 3 races about that new tire strategy, and this team hasn't adapted to it as well as we're used to seeing them dominate races and lead races out front. Will he be able to turn that around tonight in one of his best tracks?
You know, they have been working exceptionally hard on that, as you said, and Ryan Stone would be the first to admit that they can't quite figure out the magical formula for this one. Speaking of magical formulas, so far, Patrick Emmerling is out in front, and he's got a pretty good margin between him and Lutz, consistently staying the same. As you look back through the field here, pretty much everything is settling in single file in the competition here, but that's not going to last for very long. Cecily really has been turning some heads from the minute he unloaded that race car, Joe, in the paddock area here. It was strong, it was quick, and it looks like it's even getting quicker as he runs in the tire tracks of Justin Bonsignore. And to do that here at Thompson is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, Anthony Cecily over the past couple of years on the tour has had some very solid runs, and he's showing that early on with a top 5 effort in the tire tracks of Justin Bonsignor here as they roll on through. You could already see those right front brake rotors starting to glow a little bit on both the 19 and the 89 car. Use a lot of brake here, Ben. This is a big racetrack.
Sure is.
5/8 mile oval, and there's 26 degrees of banking in the corner. You see the preferred line, turns 3 and 4 in the middle of the racetrack. You go a little bit higher in turns 1 and 2. This is a really tricky racetrack to get around as Swanson tries to make a move to the inside, but doesn't have enough speed to make it happen.
Does not happen there, but directly behind them, there is another battle that's going on that was equally as impressive. Working their way towards the front of the field, Cecily is still running in the 5th spot. Swanson is 6th, and Tyler Ripkema. Now, Tyler Ripkema was really looking forward to coming back to Thompson Speedway. Why is that? He's run exceptionally well here before, and he felt that today might be the day.
Yeah, that team has been running better here, and they like this racetrack. He tends to like the big wide open tracks. That's what he grew up on. McKennedy in the 79. He works to the inside, trying to pick up that spot on the 32 of Tyler Ripkema. This is a battle for the 7th spot midway down the back straightaway. McKennedy is a former champion of the series 2 years ago, back in 2022, and he's been running part-time this year.
Certainly has. Last Sunday, he won an event at Lee USA in the open competition events. Chase Dowling is in the 44, the Tenio machine. He is also right there. That car was 3rd fastest in today's early practice. This is just the 2nd time for Dowling behind the wheel for this team. They've had all top drivers. Bobby Santos, absolutely one of the best in the business. Top shelf wheel man. They've had Doug Colby in the car and Chase Dowling. And Chase will, it looks like we've got a situation. It appears that we've got a car up. It is the 36 of Dave Zapienza. Zapienza carrying the traditional colors of, we can see it's a flat right rear on the Zapienza machine. Traditional colors of Teddy Christopher when he drove. And we can also see a heartbreaker there. He's been out for most of this season. Was looking forward to coming back and have a tremendous run here today. So his day is not over as he's quickly heading down on pit road.
He's got a silhouette of 10 Christopher inside that 36
yes,
number,
does.
And you can see it up close when you see the car back in the paddock area and as it drives past the camera. So the right rear tire down. First caution of the night is out on lap number 20 of the Thompson 150 presented by FloSports. So far, it has been all Patrick Emmerling out in front. Dave Zapienza has brought that car down to the attention of his crew, and they'll go around and see if they can change that right rear tire and get it back out. Doesn't look like there's any other damage, Ben, and he didn't get into the outside wall up there in turns 3 and 4. They'll get this tire swapped around, and I think Dave Zapienza should be okay to continue on.
Yeah, it looks like you can see exactly what you said, Joe. It is just a right rear. They're bolting on new right rear, and hopefully they will be able to get him back out. It doesn't appear any damage done. As we're looking at things, and kind of a long, lengthy period of time to get this wheel back on. Of course,
you don't want to lose another lap. He already lost one out in the racetrack. The pace car coming off turn 4. He's going to try to beat that pace car back out, so that way he's still 1 lap down to give him an opportunity to get that back if there's another caution.
Ken Heggie is down on pit road, and he's looking to return. Here they come into pit road.
Now take a look at some of the cars that are pitting, right? Ripkema was battling for the 7th position. You've got Tyler Ripkema on pit road. Doug Colby is there, Steven Kopchik, Kyle Bonsignor, Andrew Kraus, all down on pit road getting adjustments along with Woody Pitkat and some others. And this is part of that strategy that we talked about, Ben. Not many taking tires, but because they know there's more opportunity to come down pit road, you'll see more teams make an early stop to make their car better for later in the race.
Certainly is. And they're just making a quick adjustment, checking on things, seeing how it plays into the plan. There's Doug Colby following the Andrew Kraus machine back out of the racetrack, the Bugsy Stevens tribute car as well. Car number 88 also heading back out of pit road. Woody Pitkat was one of the cars, Roger Turbush, and even the 4 car of Tim Conley came down on pit road. And there is one of the Catalano cars, this one being the 84 car of Tyler Catalano. 2 heads back out.
Catalano will rejoin at the tail end of the field. We work under the caution flag here early on. Kyle Bonsignor. Now, interesting strategy here with Cam McDermott and Kyle Bonsignor, because they did a similar thing early on in the race at Lancaster, where they came down pit road and were not afraid to make adjustments. They did a similar at Monadnock Speedway, where they were on pit road early, and at the end of the race, they were a factor in the game. And so it'll be curious to see if that same mentality, that same approach will continue on with this 22 team, and that these small adjustments they make early on pay those dividends at the end of the race.
It certainly is. And, of course, you said it before that Cam McDermott is a former champion in his own right of modified racing here at Thompson, and he helps out, well, 3 or 4 different drivers in different teams with different race cars, and that's a pretty amazing accomplishment to do these days, because everybody's got their own style of getting around on their favorite racetracks, and for some, Thompson is just that.
Well, let's take a look at this, Ben. One thing that we should bring to our attention here, now we're under the caution flag, is something that was said at the drivers' meeting earlier today, and that was a focus on restarts. NASCAR made it very clear today, restarts have been something of question this year at the Whelen Modified Tour, and they said, you know what, there are no more warnings. You start at that double red line off turn number 4, about where the cars are now, and between the single red line that comes up onto the front straightaway, the leader has to fire first and start that race. There will be no warnings, and they will give you a black flag. The penalty for a restart violation, you have to do a drive-through under green flag conditions. And so as we get ready for this restart here in a few moments, we've got to keep an eye on that, because NASCAR, again, issued a very stern warning to the teams earlier today.
Certainly did. Jesse Little is a new guy in the block, but that doesn't mean competitors are going to take advantage of him, I'll tell you that. He's been around the sport. He understands the importance of a good, clean start, and that's what we're looking for here. And he does mean business. He's not a guy that's going to look the other way and say, I didn't see it. He's going to definitely make the right call. Patrick Emmerling has been the star so far as the laps are continuing under yellow, this time for a minor situation. Dave Zapienza with car number 36 was the car that brought out the caution as he tried to get the car down out of harm's way and couldn't do it. So, complexion of the event has changed just a bit as a readjustment of the lineup. Patrick Emmerling, Greg Lutz is going to be in the front row. Austin Beers, Justin Bonsignor, Cecily Swanson, John McKennedy, and Chase Dowling.
Field rolls off turn 2. Race leader is Patrick Emmerling, so he can choose which lane he wants to start in, top or bottom. That's the only lane that can choose where they want to start. Everybody else is odd numbers bottom, even numbers to the top. The preferred lane we talked about is the outside on the restarts here at Thompson, because of the momentum you can carry into turn 1, and everybody like Justin Bonsignor on back can take advantage of that. Off turn number 4, waiting for the green flag. Keep an eye on that restart zone as they roll up onto the main straightaway. Here goes Emmerling. Green flag is out.
No question about it. Emmerling was up on the wheel, and it worked to the advantage of the man that was setting in second. Down the back straightaway, working his magic, it is Justin Bonsignor. Then we've got what's really starting to happen just out of the top 7. Moving quickly to the inside is Cecily, but here comes Chase Dowling. Dowling moves now into the top 6.
Things starting to get dicey a little bit deeper at the back. You saw contact between John McKennedy and Anthony Cecily on the back straightaway. And Cecily had his hands full after they got under the green flag. That has settled down. Here's Jake Johnson diving to the inside of Ron Silk mid-pack as Emmerling leads him back across the line and into turn 1.
No question, Jake Johnson is trying to make a move to the inside, and he's trying his best to get towards the front of the field. Leader out in front. Margin still remains the same. Different player in second. It is Justin Bonsignor. Craig Lutz. Now, we're looking at the leader heading down into turn 1. Bonsignor is still there. We're going to look a little further back in the field and see if we can see what's happening, because there was some good racing going on. Things start to settle back in, Joe, and nobody's stepping out of line, but look who's running on the bottom.
Yeah, it's John McKennedy. He continues to try to make that inside lane work. He's probably one of the most racy drivers we have seen so far. At the top of your frame, you saw that yellow number 60 step out of line. Matt Hirschman, who has been pretty quiet in his career here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, is mired mid-pack. But good action throughout the field. There's the 16 car of Ron Silk, who started 13th tonight. has really not been able to gain ground. There's Hirschman.
No, he's up to, Ronnie Silk is up to the 11th position. Jake Johnson is in 12th, and Matt Hirschman is in 13th. Now we've got some good action going on. Doug Colby, white number 7 New York, to the outside, trying to follow Jankowiak in the upper lane. It pays off, it works. Catalano has to settle back in formation there.
The risk of pitting, though, right? Now, all of a sudden, Doug Colby, who had a race car that was mid-pack earlier in the day today, has to fight through all of this traffic, and he's back in 16th now. So he gave up a ton of position. So was that risk versus the reward of having a little bit of a better race car? He's got to work through traffic. More things can happen. You can see that he's in a hornet's nest. He's been able to clear Jankowiak now and get some space, but still tight racing back there that Kobe's going to have to navigate through.
Certainly is. Kobe continues to try to get away in that pack of cars. Catalano has been able to follow through in pursuit. Meanwhile, there is a good battle going. Ripkema moves to the inside of Jankowiak, and then Andrew Kraus, the 24 car, to the right of your screen. He's trying to follow Ripkema to the front of this field. That's not going to be an easy task. And that orange car behind them is Woody Pitcat.
Andrew Kraus in the 24, still working the bottom of Andy Jankowiak, who has driven all types of race cars this season. ARCA Menard Series full-time. He's driven ROC here in the Whelen Modified Tour, Dirt Midgets, Dirt Modifieds, you name it. He's been in it. He's been a very busy driver this year. It's been fun to have him over the past couple of races here in the Steve Mendoza-owned 00 that works out of the Richie Evans shop up in Western New York. And that car still fielded from that very same shop that Richie launched his career from.
Sure is. Very interesting. And he's a personality and a character, and that's what we need. Let's go back to the front of the field, and Justin Bonsignore with the 51 car was testing the waters. But Patrick Emmerling has been as smooth as he can be up front. But for how long? You know, here at Thompson, there has always been a move that they call the slide. When a driver drives down into turn number 1 on the bottom, lets the car free up and slides up, literally forcing the guy next to him on the top side out of the groove. We haven't seen that on the Whelen Modified Tour, but don't think it can't happen, because it can, Joe.
Yeah, that's a move that you'll see toward the end of the race. Those late race restarts that we talked about in the key to the race, you've got to be able to protect against that. And if you're aggressive enough to make it work and slide somebody up the racetrack, the old hip check, then you can go ahead and take advantage of that if you do it the right way. Out front, Patrick Emmerling. This car appeared in the Whelen Modified Tour just a year ago, and it was Eric Burt that was driving it that day. Matt Hirschman on the move, picks up a spot over Eric Goodale. You know, Ben, with all the success that Matt Hirschman has had, it's hard to believe that this today, his 28th start here at Thompson, he has not gotten a victory at such a storied racetrack when he has got just about every victory on his shelf and every box checked. But Thompson is one that's absent for Matt Hirschman.
You know, when you look back into the record books, this track has cost him a great deal. Years back when he was driving for Wayne Darling and Ed Bennett, he was in a shot for the title, but unfortunately he came up a little bit short in there for the competition there. Let's see what's happening as we look there, and he is trying to get into contention with the number 3 car that is directly in front of him. That's Jake Johnson, hunted down by the number 60 car.
His lap times are pretty good as well, even while he's passing cars. Matt Hirschman, you can clearly see, is closing in on Jake Johnson. He's one of the only cars that's been able to drive away after making a pass, and it didn't take him very long to track him down. We talked about the highlight at the start of the race. Notebook, well, there's nobody that has a better notebook than Matt Hirschman. I would argue whether or not he's got a great notebook here at Thompson compared to maybe a Ryan Stone or a Phil Moran or others, but Matt Hirschman, he knows the notebook, and he knows what racetracks do as the race goes on. You could never count him out, no matter what the track is.
You certainly can, and of course, he is just riding out the first half of this event, and that's what he's well known for. But when it comes time in the closing laps, you can almost bank on that number 60 car, the elite machine, to be in contention there. Things a little bit behind them is a side-by-side battle, which was short-lived. Everybody starts to settle in, and that, of course, was Eric Goodale, Doug Colby, and Tyler Ripkema. Good racing there as well.
Yeah, Goodale now in the past couple of laps has lost 2 position. He's a former winner. Back in 2022, he won the World Series of Speedway racing here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. His son Wyatt won a Bandolero race on Saturday night at Riverhead Raceway. His first career victory as his sons begin to race at their home track at Riverhead. And that's a track that we'll be racing the Whelen Modified Tour on Saturday night, September 14th. And he's looking forward to get back to his home track.
Certainly is, and you can understand why. Earlier we saw sparks beneath the Goodale machine. That is the frame rail literally bottoming out on the racetrack, and that upsets the race car. That actually slows it down. But it is not slowing now because he is down underneath Doug Kobe. Now, Kobe stated before, and there's that spark we were just talking about, Kobe stated before that he has not been able to get totally comfortable in Tommy Baldwin's number 7 car. He says there are times when he feels strong and the car runs good, but he just can't seem to find the sweet spot in the 7 New York.
Well, there's a lot going on there, too. You remember Glenn Dixon, a key part of their team, passed earlier this year unexpectedly. Scott Allen, one of the key crew members of the team, is not spending as much time in North Carolina with other commitments. And Tommy Baldwin, who really runs a lot of the operation for the NASCAR Cup Series side with Rick Ware Racing. There's a lot of change going on with that 7 New York team. And, of course, you've got the next generation of drivers coming up through. Luke Baldwin and his success in modified racing down south. There's just a lot in flux in that 7 New York team and a lot of change going on. And that's something that is certainly hard to navigate for anybody, even a veteran team like them, as they continue to field cars here in the Whelen Modified Tour. It's been great to have them. Great to have them with the Bugsy Stevens scheme as well, who we honored earlier this year at Seekonk. But Kobe's got some work to do in that 7 New York. He's back in 13th.
And you can see that car drifting up, running real high on the racetrack. He's unable to keep the car down. Goodale is still right there, but back up front, leader still remains. Patrick Emmerling, Justin Bonsignore currently running in the 2nd position. And the leaders are coming up on lap traffic pretty soon here, and that could be a game changer in this one. But you see the margin right there, perfect shot of it between 1st and 2nd. And that is about 5/10 between the two. Now, good side-by-side battle there for a while with Emmerling going to the outside of the lapped automobile. And with him comes Justin Bonsignore. Almost there. He now sneaks on by.
Yeah, Roger Turbush in the 88 down to the bottom lane of the track. Here comes Craig Lutzow. As this run has gone on, he has started to close in on Justin Bonsignore. Now we're 20 laps away from halfway. Their goal tonight was to continue to get their car through the A segment. We're through that. We're a third in. Now we're into the B segment. That car continues to be strong for Craig Lutz. So the changes that they have made, at least so far, seem to be working to their advantage as they start to reel in Justin Bonsignore through this lap traffic.
Certainly is the story, and you can see exactly that. He's getting closer and closer within striking distance of Justin Bonsignore. Now, it wasn't very long ago that Bonsignore was testing the waters with Patrick Emmerling. That's all changed. Look at Lutz going to try to make as much momentum as possible in the upper lane coming off turn 4. But just as the door opens, Bonsignore will close it.
So Bonsignore is running a lower lane on both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 compared to what we see out of Patrick Emmerling and Craig Lutz. Tells us that he's searching to get a little bit more grip out of that race car by running that lower lane. How about Ron Silk? He's going to lose 2 positions here as Jake Johnson and Matt Hirschman both get underneath him on the backstretch.
That moves him out of the top 10. He was running in the 10th position at the time. Now he drops back to the 12th position. He's struggling
Trouble
just a
turn
bit.
2, the 82 car of Woody Pitkat has spun. His car stops to the inside of the racetrack. He's got it rolling once again on the back straightaway, but it brings us under the caution flag for the second time tonight. 59 laps complete in the Thompson 150 presented by FloSports. There you see Woody Pitkat. He's able to continue on. I don't think he got too much damage, although that white wall on that right rear tire tells us he might have caught that outside wall or at least another car before he went spinning.
You know, we talked about this car. It was for sale. Danny Watts decided to retire from the competition. He did not get any takers on it. Then he got a call from Woody Pitkat and company and decided to put this deal together. The Gunsmoke Stables people behind him. His first outing wasn't a bad run at all, Joe, if you remember the run for car number 82. But he was able to be a factor. Woody looking to move back and become a regular on the Whelen Modified Tour in 2025.
This racetrack has been kind to him too. He's a late model champion here. He's what was a Sunoco SK type modified champion here at this racetrack back in the 2016 season. And now with that 82 car, I think he's very excited about all the opportunities there. We've got a break coming up. We'll step aside. Pit stops coming up next from Thompson. Working under the second caution of the night here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Expecting full field pit stops, but while pit road was closed, Kyle Bonsignor peeled off the banking, came down pit road, and they have the air cleaner off of that 22 car, and they are checking out the left rear tire as well. So a tough break here for the 22 of Kyle Bonsignor as he loses laps now on pit road, and the field rolls through turns 1 and 2.
Well, you can see exactly what you're talking about. We're not sure. The air cleaner, they've got it right there. They've just taken it off the engine. This is a real tough break for them. At Lancaster, they had a very similar situation. Looks like we're about to see pit road open up. Here comes Patrick Emmerling. It looks like the top 6, make it the top 15, are coming in on pit road. Leading the charge is Patrick Emmerling, Justin Bonsignor, Lutz, the 46 car, Swanson, the 64 of Austin Beers, the 44 of Chase Dowling, John McKennedy, and the rest of the cast that follows. Just about everybody has come in. And who's the lone wolf on the racetrack now, Joe?
Well, let's go down to pit road and Jesse Punch.
The one of Patrick Emmerling bringing it down pit road. Many cars bringing it down pit road. Their first opportunity to do so. Patrick, fastest in qualifying and first out of the pits. Pretty routine stop, just 2 tires, and he is going to be back to the lead where he's been this entire race so far.
The 16 car of Ron Silk. His car will not fire on the pit lane. The crew trying to roll it off. Matt Hirschman's car trying to get out, but as Silk's crew was pushing him in front of the way, it blocked Matt Hirschman. He's going to lose a host of positions, but Ron Silk and that team, a disastrous pit stop as he was running inside the top 10. Now he is deep in the field as his car would not fire after a 2-tire stop.
What a tough situation for him. Everybody literally coming down on pit road. The only car that stayed out was the 00 car. And as he said before, that is the free pass car, believe it or not. So his strategy a little bit different. But there is the 16 machine, and we're not sure exactly what happened, but it did not start. And when things got really, well, they just got stacked together on pit road because of it. Then finally the car started and he fired off pit road.
Well, Ron Silk will fall back to what appears to be at least the 16th position. And I think the thing that helped him a little bit is when the crew was pushing him off of pit road, it kind of blocked Matt Hirschman and it stacked up some of the teams behind him. I think he had the possibility of losing at least 3, if not 4 more positions for Ron Silk, and then was able to regain that spot. Now that team has been on a little bit of a slide the last couple of races. He's had 2 10th place finishes the last 2 out of 3 races, including last time out at Lancaster. Ron Silk said, Lancaster was a struggle for us. We're going to move past that. We're not going to see that type of thing here tonight, but that has not been the case. They qualified deep in the field, Ben. Really surprising to see him qualify 12th, and he's really run there all night, and this has made their work even more difficult, and we are just 10 laps shy of the halfway point.
Interestingly enough, as you look at what happened on pit road, Patrick Emmerling, of course, made it out in time. Justin Bonsignor, no surprises there. Then Chase Dowling picked up 3 positions as he moved from the 6th spot coming in to the 3rd position. Austin Beers dropped back 1. Jake Johnson picked up a couple. Lutz lost some time on pit road. He's back in 7th. Doug Colby is in 8th. Andrew Krause is in 9th. and Tommy Catalano rounds out the top 10.
So the Steve Mendoza-owned 00 of Andy Dankowiak will be the driver who gets the free pass. So he'll come back around. The 7 New York and Doug Kobe gained a lot. You know who else gained? The 44 car of Chase Dowling.
Yep, he
picked
gained
up
the most.
A ton of spots.
Yes, he did.
On pit road. And so he's going to start in the 3rd spot. And, you know, for Chase Dowling, Ben, that 44 car, this is really a bit of an audition. You talked earlier about the talent. Bobby Santos, who's been in that car. Doug Kobe, who's been in that car. Chase Dowling, who's now in that car. Chase would love to be able to run this car more next season, but he's got some competition for the seat. But he came home with the first podium finish in a long time for that 44 car. They have struggled the last couple of years that they've run part-time. Chase Dowling has brought some life back to that team, and he's hoping that he can be in this car next year.
He certainly has, and he's got an awful lot going on. Him and his beautiful fiancée, Melissa, are getting married on September 9th. They're building a brand new, beautiful home with the help of S&S Paving and family, friends, and everyone else. Chase had decided he could not run his own race car in 2024, and therefore this has been a great opportunity for him, and the Tinio family have been supportive in helping him do that. And you remember, perhaps the best move of the season so far at New Hampshire for car number 44 with Dowling behind the wheel.
Getting ready to get back under the green flag here in Thompson. Patrick Emmerling, the race leader, to the outside. He's got Justin Bonsignore now on the left elbow as they fire here in the restart zone, and Emmerling away with a good, clean restart once again. Leads the pack into turn 1. The battle for second is short-lived because Justin Bonsignore has it. But here comes Austin Beers challenging to the outside. He'll take 3rd.
Austin Beers moves back into the 3rd spot. Dowling gets in line in 4th. Then they're side by side. It is Jake Johnson moving the 3 car to the inside. Johnson moves into the top 5. Eric Goodale bumps back to 6. Side by side, Goodale is on the outside of Jake Johnson. He's trying to go for position number 5.
Good work by the pit crew of the 58, but contact is made. Johnson into the side of the 58, Eric Goodale. Goodale's not happy about it. He'll drive him down the racetrack a bit off turn number 4. They will go toe-to-toe now, battling for the position in turn 1.
All of a sudden, Doug Kobe comes to life in that number 7 car. He goes to the outside. They head down, bid for the lead. Off the turn, here comes Justin Bonsignore, taking a peek at the inside. While that is happening, Dowling is working over Austin Beers. A little further back, Jake Johnson refuses to be left out of this one, but he is shuffled back 4 positions because he's stuck on the bottom with car number 3.
For many of these teams, tires is just what the doctor ordered. You can see how the intensity has ratcheted up. Drivers are up on the wheel. Cars all of a sudden feel a lot better than they did 5-10 laps ago before the caution came out. Kraus in the loose stuff up in turn 2. Here comes the 46 car of Craig Lutz. He dives down to the bottom inside turn 3 underneath Doug Kobe. Gets the job done, and he slides across the nose.
While that's been happening further back, John McKennedy has moved into the 13th spot with car number 79. Side-by-side bid. Here goes Catalano again, making his presence known in the inside. Jake Johnson comes back to life in the upper lane. Here comes Lutz. Lutz just went around the number Eric Goodale machine to move into the top 5. Greg Lutz is moving forward with car 46.
Lutz was fast early. They had a slow pit stop, though. They gave up some of that track position that they had early on, running in the 3rd position. Here's Doug Kobe now, diving to the inside. Smoke off the left front tire for Jake Johnson as he locked it up, getting into turn 1, or turn 3 rather. He goes up the racetrack. He was right behind this battle between Goodale and Doug Kobe in the white 7 New York on the outside.
Doug Kobe, all of a sudden after that last pit stop, Kobe has moved into the top 6. He's a man possessed to get to the front of this field. Meanwhile, side by side, lap after lap, is that battle between Catalano and it appears Jake Johnson. Sparks fly, trouble now. Old Blue goes up the hill at a ton, and the Linz propane machine set stop. This is the 3rd caution of the event that comes out after just 1 lap after the halfway point in this event. Tough situation here, and there is the number 3 car. At the time, he was contending in those top 6th, 7th, and 8th position.
Boy, Ben, you can see that brewing. You can see how all that was starting to really come into play here as that built up pretty quickly. You saw they got down into turn number 1. The contact was made. The 56 of Trevor Catalano was directly ahead. Jake Johnson drove in, saw smoke, and then he went into the outside wall and hit pretty hard. That's a concrete wall up here at Thompson Speedway. And once you get up into that banking, the banking of that racetrack settles towards the wall a little bit. It really pulls you in. Here's a look at what happened now. Into turn 3, first of all, the 56 slid him up the racetrack coming through turns 3 and 4. Now down into turn 1. Let's see what happens. Into turn 1, you see that left front tire locked up, and boy, Jake Johnson just went sailing hard into the outside wall in turn 1.
He certainly did. There's no question about that. It all began previous to this. We were watching, and at one point, Jake Johnson was up in the loose stuff. And, you know, you talk about the outer edge of this racetrack. One of the things that is very interesting about this track, there is no area for the Speedy Dry to literally come off the racetrack. It goes up next to the wall, and it settles there. So you don't want to get up too high. If you do, the end results is not good and won't work to your favor.
So the 3-car of Jake Johnson getting some of his safety gear and equipment off as he now climbs out of the 3-car. Hits here at Thompson are hard. It's concrete wall all the way around as you described, and Johnson now climbs for the race car. But boy, what a heartbreak. This team have a lot of local crew members that are from here. They spent a lot of time here. This is a track that Jake Johnson has a fair amount of experience in because of the other series that he's run in here, and he's usually run pretty well. So Johnson's going to go ahead and make his way off the racetrack, and with the support and the help of the NASCAR officials, grabs his helmet and gear, and boy, you can see he's a little shaken up after that hit. That was a pretty hard hit.
It certainly was, and of course one of those type of hits that there's no real way that you can prepare for it, to be very honest with you. But you're looking at Jake Johnson, very talented young man with a very bright future ahead of him. No question about that. And there's another look at it. Coming down the front straightaway, kind of slides the front bumper off the back of the Catalano car. Look to your left, you'll see Catalano's machine completely sideways, and he gathered it back and was able to get away. But that was not the case for poor Jake Johnson. Into the infield care center here at Thompson, the Putnam Emergency Medical Services. He'll get checked over, and we'll give you a further report on that a little bit later. Well, things have changed a little bit at the front of the field. Patrick Emily, of course, still being shown as the leader. Justin Bonsignor in second. Chase Dowling up to third. Austin Beers is fourth. Craig Lutz and Doug Kobe make up the third row. Eric Goodale and Trevor Catalano make up row number 4. Tommy Catalano and John McKennedy has now come into the top 10 at lap number 76 and counting, and we're already up to 80 under this caution situation. As they continue to remove double hook is never a good indication.
Yeah, the way you hit on that right side, you bend that rear end up, it's hard to get that car to roll off the racetrack, but we'll keep an eye on it as they clean up in turn number 1. There's a double hook for the 3-car of Jake Johnson as they will carefully bring that car back to the pit as to not cause any further damage to the team so they can be ready to go for the next race on tour. You actually see a little bit of fire there on the right side on the tire that's hanging down. Let's take a look at the schedule coming up, Ben. Oswego Speedway up in Western New York, August 31st. That's Labor Day weekend. Off to the Bull Ring on Riverhead, September 14th, and Monadnock Speedway for the conclusion of the JDV Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup and the championship there on September 21st.
And then we move on to North Wilkesboro, a favorite stop for the modified people on October 5th. And then we're right back here for the World Series of Speedway Racing at Thompson Speedway on October 13th. And the grand finale, we'll call it the closer, Martinsville Speedway on October 26th.
Should be a good one. That's where the championship race will be decided. It'll be the race not on the companion weekend this year of the NASCAR Cup Series. The last couple of years it had been run on the Thursday night leading into the Cup Series weekend. This year it'll be a standalone weekend for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and they will have Martinsville with the Mazda MX-5 Cup cars as part of that program on that Saturday night. Pit road is open. We've got some takers down on pit lane.
We certainly do. Jesse Punch is down there on pit road. Matt Hirschman is in. Tyler Ripken is in. Goodale is in among the cars already in on pit road. There's a look at the 32 of Tyler Ripken. Matt Hirschman comes back out.
See the 54 of Tommy Catalano on and off pit road. Keep in mind that the strategy his brother used to win at Monadnock Speedway was one of come down pit road early, get your tires, get your adjustments, and then use that short pit strategy to get out in front and win. And so we'll see whether or not Tommy Catalano, who was actually charging his way through the field there after we got back under the green flag, can use a similar strategy to be able to propel his success here at Thompson. Last race had a great run at Lancaster.
He certainly did.
He had a power steering fail early on in the race, and I think he got to the end of the race. Although he had a good race car, he was just flat worn out after 120 laps or so driving without power steering at a very challenging racetrack.
Sure did, and he did a masterful job of doing just that. You're looking at the number 1 of Patrick Emmerling. This car and this team are tired of finishing second or third. They want to win, and they'd love to win here at Thompson Speedway. The Fleetworks machine, it's an LFR chassis. Emmerling Ford, the family-owned business of the driver that sits behind the wheel, is the associate sponsor of the car as well. And as you said before, when that race car came out with Eric Berndt here, and Robbie Fuller was the guy that introduced the program, it was an unbelievable race car that everybody was talking about. It became the car to beat. Luck would not have it on that day, and unfortunately, the car did not go to victory lane. But things have changed. Little shuffling of the deck there in that team in operation, and there is the clenched yellow, an indication that we are moments away from heading back up to speed and green flag racing. Patrick Emmerling, Justin Bonsignore, Austin Beers, Chase Dowling, Doug Colby, and Craig Lutz.
So the lights are out. Patrick Emmerling has been outstanding on those restarts all night long, and he's going to need another one here tonight. It'll be 65 laps to go when we get the green flag in the Thompson 150 presented by FloSports. You've got two drivers in that second row, and Chase Dowling and Austin Beers. Austin Beers having one of his better runs here at Thompson Speedway in that fourth position. That pace car, Thompson Speedway livery, will pull off of the racetrack and onto pit lane, leaving the field into command of Bob Slade atop the flag stand and the race leader, Patrick Emmerling, who gets it rolling once again. This time, though, Bonsignore is not allowing Emmerling to break free as easily, but Emmerling still able to complete the pass.
All of a sudden, the bid was for the third spot. Austin Beers quickly moved into third. Meanwhile, outside lane is looking racy. Doug Colby pulls to the top side of the racetrack in the fourth position. He shuffles Chase Dowling back to the sixth spot. Back up front, Emmerling still in command. Dowling is stuck in the wrong lane, mechanical problem. The story on car number 44, it drops off the pace down the back straightaway.
Tough break for Chase Dowling. What has gone wrong for the 44 car of Dowling? He is bringing the car down pit lane. He was a contender. His day has gone sour as he pulls that car down pit road.
There's no question he was a factor, and the Tineo operation will be proud of the efforts that he was able to perform. Back to the front of the field. We're starting to see some side-by-side competition, and Joe, I think the big mover all of a sudden is John McKennedy. McKennedy has moved into the top six. You're looking at him. He is running in the tire tracks of Lutz and running in the tire tracks of the 7 New York of Doug Colby. Colby still sets in fourth. He's got a very quick race car, Joe. He's not done yet.
Really looking good for Doug Colby as this race gets deeper and closer to the finish. The 7 New York on his way toward the front, but look in the rearview mirror. Don't look now. Craig Lutz is there. And how about John McKennedy? McKennedy pulls to the inside off turn 4.
McKennedy tries everything. Here comes Lutz. Lutz dive bombs down to the inside of Doug Colby. They cling and they clang as they come off the turn. Lutz gets the spot. John McKennedy moves in behind him. McKennedy has now moved into the top 5. McKennedy has come a long way in this event. Car number 79, showing why he is a former champion. And guess who's right there behind him? Ronnie Silk with car number 16. Silk has just won around Colby, and Silk is into the top 6.
That's the highest he has been all night long. Ron Silk has all of a sudden found a way to be a factor here tonight. You also have Matt Hirschman, who's starting to show up and move toward the front. But Doug Coby, he slid back a couple of spots as Ron Silk was able to get by him. John McKennedy was able to get by him, as was Craig Lutz. All those drivers moving forward, and Lutz might be the hungriest driver on the track. This team, now as we approach their C segment, the final third of the race, have continued to show a lot of speed, but do they have anything for Emmerling, Bonsignor, and Beers?
No question. You look at that, what's happening up front. But remember, Ronnie Silk had a problem with firing his car on pit road. He lost several positions on the racetrack. Meanwhile, another side-by-side battle. It is Catalano who's coming to the front. There's the number 19 car also contending with him in a side-by-side battle, and Andrew Kraus being pressured heavily by Matt Hirschman in the number 60 car.
Kraus in the 24 holds on to the 10th spot. Hirschman wants to crack the top 10 for the first time tonight. He rides in the tire tracks into turn number 1. Single file, everybody runs that top groove of the racetrack. And here is the 54 of Catalano, thinking about stepping out of line, but Hirschman sachets down the back straightaway and protects the spot.
Certainly does. Hirschman looking to get racy. He is a closer now. Remember, he's going to try everything to get to the front of the field in that elite-sponsored race car. Back up front, jumping out of line, Anthony Cecily took a peek to the bottom. Here comes Catalano all over Hirschman now. Cecily look for an opening down underneath Coby. It does not work. Back towards the front of the pack. Here comes Catalano. Tries to make the move to the inside. Does it. Picks up a spot. Swanson is directly behind him, that white number 89 car.
Nice crossover by Tommy Catalano. Carried that momentum on the high side of the racetrack to get underneath Matt Hirschman, and he picks up the spot. Catalano grabs one here. Here's Swanson looking to the back bumper. Now goes outside as Matt Hirschman off the pace to the inside.
Trouble now as it appears that Hirschman gets stuck in the wrong lane. Is it a mechanical problem? It is looking that way. Car number 60 pulls to the bottom of the racetrack, and he is not up to speed as he was early in the event. Meanwhile, Tim in the number 4 car, Tim Conley goes to the outside of him, but there is Matt Hirschman heading down on pit road. It looks like the elite number 60 is done for the day.
And while he's on pit road, we'll get a quick update on the 44 car of Chase Dowling. It was the motor that expired on the 44 of Dowling. That brought him down pit lane. And now mechanical problems for the 60 car of Matt Hirschman. They're going around and changing right side tires. On screen, though, out front, Patrick Emmerling leads the way. He's got a sizable advantage back to the 51 car of Justin Bonsignor. And here comes Craig Lutz. Lutz picks up another spot. He moves into third now underneath Austin Beers.
No question, Lutz is coming. Down on pit road, we can see to the right of your screen, now a full shot there. Matt Hirschman, they're putting on a right front tire. We're not sure if that was the real problem. It didn't look like the Hirschman car had a tire going down, but that is not the case. Back up front, here comes Andrew Kraus. To the inside, went underneath Cecily. Now we've got a bid at the front of the field, John McKennedy. McKennedy moves to the inside of Austin Beers. With him comes Ronnie Silk. Beers slips up just a bit. It works to the advantage of McKennedy, but Silk is still trying to work for it.
Justin Bonsignor saw an opportunity to extend and get the lead to start with, but then put a pretty good dent in that championship point advantage and jump out in front for the first time today with a sizable lead. But Ron Silk has been able to recover. They did not qualify well. They stalled the car on pit road. They lost a tremendous amount of spots. They restarted back in the 16th position. but Ron Silk is now looking to move inside the top 5 and continue to protect that championship lead.
He certainly is. He's working over Austin Beers. Silk now dives to the inside, pulls it back in the line, can't make the move to complete the mission. Patrick Emmerling still the leader. Justin Bonsignor still in second. And there is Silk. He continues to work over Austin Beers. Got a nice run for it. He makes the move, drifts up the racetrack, and Ron Silk has now moved in to position number 5. In the top 5 for the first time here today.
This is a track that traditionally has long runs, and we're seeing that again tonight. But as we get now closer to 40 laps to go, just a few laps away from that marker, all of a sudden here is the Tommy Catalano machine under Doug Coby. Don't be surprised if we get a late race restart, and you need to be able to be good on the short runs. And remember, if they want them, drivers and teams, they've got tires down on pit road.
They certainly do, and we just saw Tommy Catalano make that move as he is now into contention among the top 6 cars. He's not done yet. Meanwhile, look at Doug Coby continuing to try to fight back Tommy Catalano and take over that position again. Andrew Krause is there. Those 3 cars, now it's 4. We've got Matt Swanson, white number 89 car. Krause moves to the inside of Doug Coby. He'll take over the spot.
Nice move by Andrew Krause. Matt Swanson trying to fill that gap left by Andrew Krause. Eric Goodale sees an opportunity. He'll go to the inside as well. As Doug Coby, the longer this run goes on, he continues to lose positions. Here's Eric Goodale now inside of turn 3.
Eric Goodale is looking to move into the top 10. He is currently in the 11th position and bidding for the top 10 spots as he has now picked up another spot. He'll set his sights next on the 10th place runner, the white number 89. Meanwhile, Matt Swanson does the crossover, goes from the outside to the inside, trying to get around Andrew Krause. That is the bid for position number 9.
Good action here. The bottom half of the top 10 as these drivers scrap and claw for every position they could get here in the closing stages of this one. Eric Goodale, man, he's just looking to try to get to a finish in one of these. He has had a rough couple of races that he's entered. Tyler Ripkema just outside the top 10. Would love to be able to end his day with a solid finish as well. He gets ahead of Doug Coby. Now Woody Pitkat in the mix as well. Trying to pick up a few spots here before the final few stretches of this one. 36 laps to go in tonight's Thompson 150 presented by FloSports. So far, it has been all Patrick Emmerling, and the lead he has is substantial. 1.1 seconds back to Justin Bonsignor. He won the pole earlier today, and he said, you know what, I'm not real worried about winning the pole. I'm worried about having good race speed and being able to execute. And that's the one thing they have missed all season. They've had fast race cars. They have been in position to win, but they haven't had a great pit stop, or they've had a penalty, or odd things have been happening to this team. You knew sooner or later they'd have an opportunity to put the whole thing together, and there's still a long way to go to the end of this one. But tonight, Patrick Emmerling and this team so far have done just about everything right to put themselves in position to hang on for their first victory this season.
They certainly have, and you can't question that. Justin Bonsignor did test the waters for a little bit. Craig Lutz, on the last circuit by, clicked off the quickest lap of any of the cars in the top 10. So Lutz is coming forward. He's in third. John McKennedy is up to the 4th spot. Lots of traffic up ahead of our leaders. Ron Silk is back in the top 5. 6, Tommy Catalano. Austin Beers is 7th. Trevor Catalano is up to 8th. Andrew Krause is 9th. And Matt Swanson rounds out the top 10.
There's the 16 car flashing by for Ron Silk. You see all these cars now riding back behind Austin Beers, who's having really one of his better days here at Thompson. He's running 7th right now. That's where he finished at the Icebreaker in the spring. As this racetrack, he showed a lot more strength tonight than he has in prior races at Thompson. But at least if the race were to end right now, his results will still be inside the top 10 as he continues to strive for that top 5 finish here at Thompson.
Here's another good battle we just saw. Matt Swanson with that Caravello number 89 moved around Catalano and picked up a spot there. That, of course, is the battle that has been going on between Trevor Catalano and Matt Swanson. Meanwhile, directly behind them, Goodale has started to settle into line. He's just out of the top 10, and he's working over Andrew Kraus. There you can see it to the right of your screen. The 58 car is now trying to close in on Andrew Kraus. Kraus has not run a lot of Tour events this year, but today he was looking forward to running here at Thompson. There's Woody Pitkat trying to get down and work his magic. Remember, he was involved in a minor spin early in the event.
You see the rubber peeling off these cars as we go deeper into this run. Kraus on the attack underneath Catalano, and that damage that he got earlier in the race today and that left rear quarter panel and that sail panel off the back of the race car doesn't seem to slow him down all that much. He's been a contender inside the top 10 much of the night, and he is improving. Remember at the start of the night, he said, I like Thompson, but Thompson hasn't liked me very much.
That's so true.
And he's inside the top 10, and he's starting to turn that around.
He's starting to make that, well, a total different way of stating the facts here at Thompson. Meanwhile, that battle has been raging lap after lap, and Catalano continues to hold on with that number 56 car. Trevor Catalano, what a talented young driver. All the Catalano family is, but he is showing his absolute best. Meanwhile, Goodale still continues to try to reel him in. That is the battle currently we're watching for the 9th, 10th, and 11th position. No changes up front. Currently, that's the battle that's the most aggressive on the racetrack.
Yeah, although Emmerling leads the race today, he had a 1.1 second advantage not long ago, but he started catching some lap traffic. It's now down to 0.8 of a second. Justin Bonsignore now inside of 25. It'll be 24 as Emmerling comes across the line. Laps to go. It is there. Justin Bonsignore in the 51 car trying, pedaling all they can to track down Patrick Emmerling. And Ben, we have seen that happen before here at Thompson. You can run somebody down. There's lap traffic up ahead, and Bonsignore has gone to the afterburner. It's now 0.9 of a second as it took a little bit longer for him to get around Tim Conley.
Certainly did, and you're looking at Lutz now approaching Tim Conley, a lapped automobile, trying to get around there. It's costing Lutz a little bit of valuable time on the racetrack. 127 and counting here at Thompson. Leader is still Patrick Emmerling, but as we've been pointing out, moving in and getting closer is Justin Bonsignore. Lutz makes his way around the lap traffic with the number 46 car. He is now got some clean air for a while. No lap traffic in front of him.
Yeah, Lutz looks pretty good here at this point in time. What he doesn't have is time to make up the distance. 2.5 seconds behind the race leader. Bonsignore sitting there in second, may be within reach as Craig Lutz continues to rip off very quick lap times that are at pace of what Patrick Emmerling is running, but he just doesn't have the time, I don't think, to track him down in 20 laps.
Agree with that. And also John McKennedy, remember how strong he was after the last pit stop. He has kind of settled into the 4th position. You're looking at Bonsignore as he goes around Doug Colby. You don't see that happen very often. Colby now seems to be a little off the pace as well. Doug Colby's run in the Tom Baldwin car, the tribute car to Bugsy Stevens. Now he is off the pace. I think they've got a mechanical problem as well.
It'll be a tough break and a tough night for Doug Colby as he slows. Bonsignore and that team, they are certainly making his way forward because that 51 team, we mentioned it at the top of the show, Ben, has not gone out there and dominated, has not led laps. They have struggled to adapt to the new tires over the past couple of seasons, not just this year, and even the new tire strategy game. They're trying to get used to that. They have lost some of the edge that they had, but tonight they look a lot better. Patrick Emmerling might have been just a tick faster all night long, but that 51 team starting to show the signs of life that it's always had.
Certainly has. Down on pit road, Stephen Kopsik, mechanical problems with car number 21. It has pulled off the racetrack, looking like its day has suddenly come to a halt. Back up front, you're looking at the number 51 car and the margin between first and second as Patrick Emmerling continues to set the pace. Last time by, 1.164 is the margin. Meanwhile, look at this battle with the 16 car of Silk in the top 5. Tommy Catalano is reeled him in, and now Tommy Catalano goes to the outside of Silk.
Tommy Catalano has had an impressive run the last couple of weeks. He'll sail it into the outside of turns 1 and 2, looking to move inside the top 5. And Tommy Catalano trying to get that top 5 finish here that he wanted last week in Lancaster at his home track. He's aiming to do it here tonight at Thompson.
Certainly doing a good example of just that. Meanwhile, Doug Coby off the pace, still continuing to try to ride it out. Tim Conley in the 4 car you're looking at there as Silk goes to the outside. Now we see that Silk is back in the 6th position now that Tommy Catalano moved into the top 5. Swanson is in 7th, Beers is 8th, Trevor Catalano is 9th, and Kraus is 10th.
Well, let's go down to pit road quickly here before the checkered flag flies with Jesse Punch, who's got an update on Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson has made his way out of the ambulance and back over to his team. That team diligently working on that race car. Johnson definitely shaken up after that contact with the wall coming out of turn 1. I asked him if he knew what happened. He said, I honestly don't know. I asked him how he was feeling. He said shaken up, but couldn't give me any specifics on if anything was hurting. Definitely still processing what happened there, but the good news is he seems to be okay.
So that's great news on that young, talented driver. And there's a good look to the right of your screen at the suspension damage, as he literally peeled the right front suspension completely off the number 3 car. And you could see, we were looking at Jake Johnson in that shot, and he definitely had his bell rung. There's no question about that.
Yes, and Jake Johnson certainly hope that he can get everything back in order here and that he gets back to racing here soon in that 3 car. Inside of 10 laps to go, make it 9 this time by as Patrick Emmerling leads the way. Justin Bonsignor has nibbled away at that race lead again.
Kyle Bonsignor now becomes the next casualty of heading down on pit road under green. So that car is behind Stephen Kopsick's car at pit road. So the nutrition rate sending cars to pit road has been high, but the racing on the racetrack has been very impressive. 142 and counting. You're looking at the leader, Patrick Emmerling. Coming through traffic. His next target becomes Andrew Kraus, the number 24 car. That's your 10th place car. So the leader, Patrick Emmerling, is now lapping 10th place and now sets his sights. Catalano pulls out of the line of fire. And we continue to see Emmerling now trying to turn up the wick just a bit. But the margin between first and second is closing. 9/10 between first and second. As we continue to count them down. 145 laps into the record books. The high 5 and the final 5. Now, Justin Bonsignor. But there's a look at our leader. Fleet Management, Emmerling Fords. And directly in second, Justin Bonsignor. No challenges there, but Craig Lutz still sitting back in third.
As Emmerling continues to work through the traffic over here in turns 3 and 4. 3 laps to go this time for the Orchard Park, New York driver. Rich Gautreau, Fleetworks out in California, said, I wanted to run modifieds. I realized it would be better if I put somebody else in the car. And he chose Patrick Emmerling to drive this race car. We've talked about how close they have been this year to being able to get to victory lane. They haven't been able to dot the I's, cross the T's, and execute on a full race. Tonight, they started on the pole. They have led every lap so far. Tonight, he's a lap and a half away from his first checkered flag of the season and his 5th of his career.
Dale, the crew chief on the automobile, and the Grasso brothers have been turning and creating the magic. They come up a little bit short before, but tonight, 149. The white flag is out. Let's go with Patrick Emmerling as he heads down the back straightaway as he'll head into turn number 3. Patrick Emmerling. Not only will he win, he has led each and every circuit here tonight. Checkered flag is out. It is Patrick Emmerling for the win.
Patrick Emmerling, for the 5th time in his career, will win the Whelen Modified Tour. Rich Gautreau The #1 team at Fleetworks will get their first Whelen Modified Tour victory as a car owner. And Dale Hedquist, the championship-winning crew chief of a few years ago, returns to victory lane in the Whelen Modified Tour. Patrick Emmerling, the winner. It'll be Justin Bonsignor and Craig Lutz on the podium, with John McKennedy and Tommy Catalano routing out the top 5 tonight.
6th through 10th, Matt Swanson will finish in 6th. Ronnie Silk is 7th. Austin Beers to finish in 8th. Trevor Catalano for 9th. And Eric Goodale will finish among the top 10.
So the one car of Patrick Emmerling will be able to visit victory lane here at Thompson, as he has earned the victory tonight. Dominating performance for him. The championship battle, well, it's going to take a little bit of a different twist now. Ron Silk at the end of that race fell outside the top 5. He finished 7th tonight. Justin Bonsignor will now be the Whelen Modified Tour point leader for the first time this season, as we head into Oswego Speedway in upstate New York on Labor Day weekend, the next stop on the tour.
And there you can see it, Patrick Emmerling heading to the winner's circle here at Thompson, and he will be a very ecstatic winner. Jesse Punch down there to meet and greet our top 3, and there you're looking into the cockpit of the #1 car. Congratulations going on as we speak, and he will just be getting out. Justin Bonsignor there, who finished in the runner-up spot, not what he wanted, and with his tremendous success here at Thompson. But look at the big smile, Joe, on Patrick Emmerling's face.
Emmerling's normally a man of few words, but I think you're going to see a very excited Patrick Emmerling when he gets out of this race car. He has been working to get back to victory lane in the Whelen Modified Tour here for some time, and he will climb out of the race car in victory lane. Let's go trackside to Jesse Punch.
One excited crew down here in victory lane, ready to celebrate their first win together. Patrick, congratulations. First win of the season, first with this team. What does this moment mean to you?
Absolutely incredible. This Fleetworks #1 team. We had a dominant car the last 3 races. We've been building momentum. This is our first year racing as a team, and back in November, we all got with Rich and Dal and everybody, and we put this team together. I was just so incredibly excited, and for a first-year team, we execute pretty good here. We have the fastest pit stops now. And have a car like that, one of the best, probably the best car I've ever driven in my life, and awesome to finally get a win here at Thompson, and just I have to thank everyone involved, Rich, Dal, my whole family, and everyone, this whole team involved. It's just a wonderful group of guys to work with, and we just have a ton of fun out there, and so we do, and just absolutely incredible.
Patrick, you have shown speed all season long. You've said you know this win was coming, but to come out here and have such a dominating day like you did today, what do you think that says about the potential that this team has together with you in the future?
We have a ton of potential. We put an amazing program has been put together here, and just can't be any more thankful to drive for this team. And I just have to thank everybody involved, again, Rich, Dal, and that's everybody. It's absolutely incredible. I wish Rich was here today. He's back in California, but we did it. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, and this is absolutely incredible.
Well, you have a very excited team ready to celebrate with you. Congratulations, Patrick. Patrick Emmerling, first win of the season. He gets it done tonight in the Thompson 150, presented by FloSports.
Well, thank you, Jesse. A very happy team. They have been so close this season. They've got it done, and this could be the start of many victories for Patrick Emmerling, Dale Hedquist, and the entire #1 team as they continue to celebrate. Several of the fans that were here tonight, NASCAR doing a special tribute to race fans here at Thompson, and kids were able to join the Victory Lane celebration. They will help hand out some of the Victory Lane hats to the race winner, Patrick Emmerling, and his entire team, and have a special opportunity here this evening. But the second place man was Justin Bonsignor, 13-time winner here at Thompson Speedway. Tonight, he'll come home in second. Let's hear from him with Jesse.
Second place tonight, Justin Bonsignor. Justin, down in those final laps, what more did you need to pass that one car?
his car was just really, really good. So congrats to them. It's awesome for a new team to win in their first year, and this has really been mixing it up this year with the new strategies and a lot of good teams. I think that's 7 different winners in a row, so that's awesome for the series. But yeah, we just track position probably would have been nice if I could have got the lead on that start, but I showed a nose on him one time and he kind of drove off on us. But our car, we were starting to run him down with 15 to go a little bit, and then I got stuck in lap traffic a little bit worse than he did, and my car kind of just gave up with the rear tires with about 8 or 9 to go. So all in all, really good night. Just want to thank Phoenix Communications, Clearcom IT Solutions. Phoenix has a whole bunch of people up here, and I had a lot of their employees, so that's cool for them to come out and support us. M3 Technologies, Fury Race Cars, Robert Yates Racing Engines, all our product sponsors, Ken and Janine Massa, Brian Snow, the whole pit crew. We had a good stop again tonight. So, it's getting towards the late summer here, and it's good to start putting some runs together with speed. 2 weeks in a row, we've had really good speed. So, excited for us as we go.
Well, Justin, to that point, a second-place finish is nothing to hang your head on, especially when you have such a tight points battle here. Coming into this race, 1 behind Ron, how focused are you on the points battle when it comes to the championship at this point in the season?
I mean, you just don't do anything stupid. If you can, if you could have got a run on Patrick and cleared him and not been aggressive to get yourself in a bad spot and wreck both of you, then you lose, Ron's running 7th or 8th, wherever it was. You don't want to wreck yourself on nights like that. So kind of just rode around there. We were by ourselves most of the night. Yeah, I mean, you're a little bit focused on it, but you just really, if anything, the bonus points are important in this series. That's where we've kind of been lacking this year is wins and leading laps. So just got to have good nights like this, and we're knocking on the door now 2 weeks in a row with good speed. So we'll hopefully go to Oswego and have a shot at another classic.
That's a podium finish tonight for Justin Bonsignor, bringing it home second.
Yeah, momentum starting to swing in the favor of the 51 team of Justin Bonsignor. We'll see whether or not he can carry that on through the rest of the season. It was Oswego Speedway that he was excited about. He said a couple of moments ago that nearly cost him the championship last year with a crash in that race. So we'll see if they can have a better result when we go there on August 31st. A driver that had a very strong run tonight, looked like he was going to be a contender all night long. That was Craig Lutz. He ended up 3rd tonight. Let's hear from him.
3rd place tonight, Craig Lutz. Craig, you and I were just kind of joking that it looked exhausting out there. Describe to me how it is getting out of the race car here at Thompson.
It just, anytime you have a long green flag run like that, it's, it's a relief once it's over, but all in all, a great day for my team. We have had a lot of speed this year, but haven't put a finish together. So today we had a really good car, time trial 2nd, was there in the beginning, lost a little bit on pit road, but gained it back on the racetrack. Congrats to Pat and the one team; they were really fast. But can't thank Russell Goodell, Rear Red Building Supply, my crew chief Doug Ojico, my girlfriend at home that's always support me behind the scenes, and I always seem to forget her. So yeah, just an awesome day all around, and looking forward to carry the momentum into Oswego.
Well, Craig, you said it yourself. You had a stellar run there in qualifying, fast car, and then you finish it up with a podium finish. What confidence does that give you coming back here to Thompson one more time this season?
Oh, it's huge. We made gains. The Icebreaker, we led laps and finished 6th. Here we rode 2nd for a while and finished 3rd. So we made a lot of gains on it. My crew chief did a great job on the calls, and I'm really looking forward to ending the rest of the season strong.
That's Craig Lutz, 3rd place finisher tonight.
He was strong tonight, and he's got the trophy for 3rd place to prove it. So Craig Lutz, a good solid run. They'll bring that back to the team in Long Island and hopefully look to be able to build upon that when we head up to Oswego. Patrick Emmerling, though, to the winner goes the spoils. He gets the trophy, he gets the momentum, and that team will celebrate. Will they take that all the way to California where the car owner is? I bet they will. Emmerling on top of the world tonight. There's a look, Ben, coming up. We talked about Oswego Speedway. That's next Labor Day weekend.
Sure is. Following that, September 14th, Riverhead Raceway. Then it's on to Monadnock for stop number 3 for them on September 21st. Then North Wilkesboro, the favorite stop on October 5th. And then on October 13th, we're right here back at Thompson for the World Series of Speedway Racing. And the crowning of the champions on October 26th from Martinsville Speedway.
Well, the crowd came here in droves tonight at Thompson Speedway. It was a beautiful day for a Wednesday night edition of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and it lived up to the billing. The championship battle was one of the focuses today. Justin Bonsignore will walk away with the point lead. The fans enjoyed some autograph sessions this afternoon. The racing on track was intense, but nobody could match what Patrick Emmerling had. He was the dominant car. Justin Bonsignore tried, but he did not have enough to be able to tackle and compete with that one car of Patrick Emmerling. We saw some incidents. Johnson was into the wall hard early on in the race. The checkered flag, though, it went to Patrick Emmerling as he picks up his 5th career victory and first of the season in 2024. Join us next time on Labor Day weekend on August 31st from Oswego Speedway, where the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour continues their pursuit of a championship. Good night, everybody.